As a black woman, I would say, like, for citizens, and as a black woman, I would be fearful under presidency.
I can't even begin to list the reasons. It's that extensive.
Can I get 3 of them?
If anything, Bernie, come out of retirement. AOC, let's do this.
And this is the problem with younger college students or Gen Z in general.
Here at Harvard University is one of the most prestigious universities here in the United States of America. The average cost of tuition here is up to $75,000, and these students should be some of the smartest kids in the world here. So today we're going to be asking them who they're going to be voting for in 2024. Right now, it looks like we have an election between Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and we may have a few outsiders such as RFK Jr. This is an election special here on my channel that we'll be doing up until the election time. So if you want to see more of these, subscribe. But now we're going to go ask students who they're going to be voting for in 2024. Who will you be voting for?
We'll have to wait and see. It's a little down the line.
Okay.
Just kidding. I'm voting for Biden. If it's a Biden-Trump matchup, then I'd be voting for Biden. Yeah.
What would make you want to vote for Joe Biden versus a person like Donald Trump?
I can't even begin to list the reasons. It's that extensive.
Can I get 3 of them?
Sure. He aligns with my values more. He's more pro-democracy, and I think he's a better person.
And this is the problem. This is the problem that a lot of people have with younger college students or Gen Z in general. It's not the fact that you're voting for someone else. Let's say you're voting for Biden, Trump. That's not the problem, because at the end of the day, if you're in America, you have the right to choose. The problem is that you don't really even know why you're voting for him. He said his list is so extensive, he can't even begin to list the reasons. Then he said, okay, give me 3. One of the 3 reasons was that he's a better person. What? What is it? Bro, what? You're voting for someone because you're basically saying you're voting for someone because you like him more. Well, I like him more. He's pro-democracy. You don't think Donald Trump is pro-democracy? And this is not even me defending one president over the other. This is the problem, that you're not making an educated decision when it comes to presidency because you have inherent biases against Trump or against Biden. Educate yourself. Make sure you know why you're voting for who. That's it. That's all you have to do. Educate yourself. Just read about it. Jesus.
Okay, and with policies, anything like that?
He aligns with my policies generally across the board.
What are your policies?
All right, this is where we're hitting past the minute point. I gotta run.
We got like
sorry.
10 more seconds.
All right, I'm sorry, but I'm cutting this short.
Who do you think would be best to become the future leader of America in this year and with elections?
In terms of this election, I will be personally voting for Joe Biden.
Okay, and why so?
I think in terms of just keeping the rule of law and the state of our constitutional democracy, he's the best option.
What do you guys think about the current state of America?
Am I allowed to swear on here?
Yep.
It's dog shit. America's completely shit right now. I ain't gonna lie. Like, low-key, I'm trying to go to Europe, probably move to the Netherlands or something. Either way, everything's just going to shit at this point.
Who will you be voting for in 2024?
Respectfully, I'm not voting.
You're not gonna be voting?
I will remain neutral.
Who would you think would be better to help America, Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Like I said, I remain neutral. I got no opinion on the matter.
But you say you want to like leave the United States, so if we can make it better, who do you think can make it better?
Honestly, I have zero idea.
When he says he's remained neutral, the reason why he won't answer this question, and this is what I see in a lot of young people, and this is not my personal who I'm voting for, no. It's because he doesn't believe that President Biden may be the best choice, and he probably believes that Trump will be a better option. However, saying that Trump would be a better option is just socially unacceptable when you're in a college environment, especially a more liberated college environment, such as, well, first of all, majority of colleges are more liberal in general, but Harvard specifically is more liberal. So it's not that he's saying he thinks Trump will be better, or he's saying Biden will be worse, but there's definitely beliefs in him that say Trump may be better, but I can't necessarily say that. And Biden may have messed up in certain places, but I also can't necessarily say that. So to save face, I'm going to be neutral. I'm going to say nothing.
On that topic.
And what about you, man? Who do you think will make the country better?
Personally, I would think Mr. Donald Trump himself. It seems like people only like him just because, or people only dislike him just because he'll like say like a thing or two like that people like think is like pretty rude. But I mean, besides that, I feel like he ran the country a little more better than Joe Biden.
And what do the majority of the kids here in Harvard believe in?
I mean, most of them are lean towards the left.
And who will you be voting for?
I don't feel comfortable disclosing that information, if that's okay.
And who do you think the majority of these kids are going to be voting for here at Harvard?
I mean, probably Democratic candidates. So, yeah.
So we have between Trump or Biden. Do you think they're going to be going for Biden then?
For sure, yeah.
Who are you going to be voting for?
Biden.
And why so?
Voted for him last year. I don't agree with like some of Trump's policies, so that's why.
And what policies would it be that you don't agree with?
Some environmental stuff. I hated like the what was it, the Willow Act or whatever. Yeah.
What do you think about America right now?
Like the whole country?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a tough question. I don't know if I have like any opinion about the whole country.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the current state of America, from protests, from elections, to inflation, to the border crisis?
Well, I feel like civic engagement and like advocacy and like protesting is a big part of our country and our history. And I feel like this is just an example of like our whole history. So.
Okay, and who do you think would be best to control the situation or get America back into control with this year at the elections?
I don't know.
Who do you think would be best between Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or any other candidates?
I mean, I don't really have an opinion. I feel like politics are super complicated. I mean, I'm only 18. This is my first year. Like, this is why I'm here to like learn more. But I think everything's super complicated. I don't have like too much of an informed opinion yet.
Okay, cool. And what do you?
That's actually a very fair answer, and I wish more people were that honest, because when I first made my channel, I was that honest. I studied engineering for the past 5 years. Well, 5th year coming up as my master's. But I say I don't know a lot about it because my focus was somewhere else. But the problem is that instead of majority of young people admitting this, they say, well, I'm just going to vote for Biden just because I like his vibe better. He has a better vibe. And this is not an attack. This is not me attacking Joe Biden or President Biden. I'm just saying that it doesn't make sense to vote for someone because you like their vibe better, especially if it's a candidate who may have policies that you align with. What you're doing is you're basically telling yourself, I don't believe that his policies alone will constitute my support. Therefore, I'm not even going to look into what he or his administration supports. I'm just going to vote for him anyways. And not only are you doing him a disservice, well, you're not doing him a disservice because you're giving him your vote, but you're doing the country a disservice because you don't even know what they're implementing. So you're hurting yourself and you're hurting your country. Just look into people so you can make an informed decision. Or if you don't know who you vote for, it would be better if you didn't vote. Just say, I don't know. I don't know who would be better. So because I don't know, I'm going to sit this one out. I'm going to read more about it. That would be better and more respectable.
What are you studying here?
I'm studying government and ethnicity migration rights.
So this should be pretty important for you to know.
I know. Yeah, that's why I'm here to learn more. I'm here to learn more.
All right, you're a smart man. We're going to ask you a tough question.
Oh, no.
It's simple. Who will you be voting for in 2024?
It's a good question. Definitely not Donald Trump. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that Joe Biden has done, and I don't agree with Joe Biden as a person, but it might be a situation where you're picking the better of two evils, so probably Joe Biden if it comes down to it.
And what are you guys studying? And remember this girl's face, because at the end of this video she gives a very interesting response. With what's going on in the Middle East, and this year we're going to have elections in 2024, who do you think will be best to resolve this conflict?
Unfortunately, neither. You're dealing with either an alt-right extremist candidate or a closeted centrist of a Democrat that really isn't going to do anything because he's in bed with giving billions of funding and not allowing any sort of sanctions on that. So it's really tough. I mean, in our city, in our country right now, we have a really political system. If anybody remembers, Joe Biden was in 4th place after the New Hampshire primaries in 2020, and then all the other candidates except Bernie dropped out, backed Joe Biden, and all of a sudden he was the number one front runner. And in 2016, when we tried to bring a progressive candidate once again with Bernie Sanders, we ran into super delegates that Hillary was already going to win and was already ahead before we even got to California for the primaries. So when you're dealing with such a distorted scale of choices, either alt-right or kind of pretty much moderate Republican, maybe slightly left with Biden, you're not really going to get a lot done. So I definitely think that neither candidate is going to provide much hope for this situation, and what we're doing right now and whatnot across the country is the best way to sort of seek attention and activism and whatnot.
He was talking about Joe Biden being in bed with other countries. Do you think the politicians are currently trying to fund this crisis that's going on in the Middle East, or
I don't even think it's a question if the military is funding it. There is obviously like $90 billion that has already been passed by Congress to go over there. And I think the rhetoric is that the military-industrial complex is protecting the United States or protecting the interests of Israel. But I fundamentally do not trust the agenda of the military-industrial complex.
Okay, if it gets down to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, who will you guys support?
There'll be a third party.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to support who I always support, Vermin Supreme, the number one political candidate that offers everybody a free pony, that if we're already going to throw away a vote to...
Vermin Supreme. Okay, I don't know a lot about politics, but I know that probably won't be a logical vote, because what he's basically saying is that he's going to vote, but he's just going to throw away his vote to some guy named Vermin Supreme. I need to look into Vermin Supreme. He's giving away free ponies.
Once again, pretty much a centrist Democratic candidate that isn't doing anything. Where was all the police reform, Mr. Biden? Where was all the stuff you promised in 2020? Marijuana is legal in 30 to 40 states, but at this point, still no federal grip on that. And when it comes to the minimum wage, when it comes to a lot of issues where inflation is kicking the living shit out of us, like $8 for eggs and whatnot, and we can't get a raise on the $7.85 national minimum wage, he's not doing anything. He's a puppet up there, and he's a puppet for other people that are already comfortable and settled and just trying to get their corporate backers happy, you know? So
he just snapped, man. He's going in right now.
Either of them. If anything, Bernie, come out of retirement. AOC, let's do this. Let's get in the game.
And also here in the United States, we received over 8 million, potentially up to 16 million migrants. What do you guys think about the migrant crisis that's going on here in America?
I support open borders.
You support open borders?
Oh, hell yeah.
And why do you guys support open borders?
This isn't our country. This country was founded on genocide and culture and taking it from indigenous people. Whoever the wants to come here should be able to come here. Why did we get to come here? Why did my ancestors get to come here? They were actually fleeing oppression of the UK. So it's just like the cycle repeats itself until it doesn't. Like, this isn't our country. This is Turtle Island, and it belongs to indigenous people. And it wouldn't have been the United States of America if it wasn't for culture.
Okay, that's kind of like a hippie kind of answer. That is a hippie answer. And hear me out. The reason I say that is because you are a literal citizen of America, meaning that as a citizen, you are required to do certain things in this country, or you go to prison, such as paying taxes. You have to pay taxes. If you make $1 in this country, you need to pay taxes as a citizen. You have certain privileges as a citizen also. So for you to say this isn't our country, on paper, it is your country. But if I'm wrong, if it's not your country, then what land would be yours? Or what land do you have claim over? It just goes deeper and deeper. That's like me saying, okay, if this isn't your country, then that means that the house you got isn't your house because it's on land that isn't yours. You see what I'm doing right now? So that's why I said this is kind of a hippie, weird way to answer this question, because no, this is your citizen. It's your country.
And genocide.
A lot of the people that are coming out of the country, we don't know who they are, and they change their names once they cross the border. You guys have any issues with that?
I mean, we don't know who's in this country.
Yeah.
Do you know how many shooters and serial killers and people in this country that are incredibly violent.
How many politicians are f***ing rapists who literally run our country and are here to keep us safe? And how many cops have been brutally hitting students, young children? Like videos of children looking out the window, watching their friends get beat by adult grown men. What the f***?
What do you guys think will be the solution to all this?
A spiritual revolution where people truly understand that we're all connected and that they are connected to their own bodies, because you wouldn't be able to violate the body of another person if you were connected to your own humanity and your own body. And so it's like a psychological heart spiritual revolution where we have to unprogram this
Bro, what is she talking about, bruh? What are you talking about? Okay, I'm skipping that. She's not what? Okay, it just got a little too weird. It got a little too weird for me. You're connected to your own body. They're on some different stuff. Let's continue this.
Talking to people about America and the elections that are going to be coming up, and most people say that everyone here, that the majority here are left-leaning. And why do you think that is so?
It's a good question. Well, schools look more liberal. Colleges tend to be more liberal.
Who will you be voting for?
Oh, I'll be voting Democrat.
Because you will be voting Democrat, is there anything you'd like to see change from Joe Biden if he does win?
Well, help the students out a bit more financially. I could see that as a good thing.
And coming into 2024, who will you be voting for?
2024. Biden and Kamala Harris.
And with the elections coming up here in 2024, who will you guys be supporting?
No one.
I'm going to vote because I'm going to exercise my right, but I'm not particularly excited about any of the choices.
If you had a vote today, who would you be voting for?
Unfortunately, Joe Biden again.
Joe Biden again?
Yeah.
Why do you think so many of the college students here in Boston and at Harvard want to vote for Joe Biden? We haven't heard anybody that wants to vote for Donald Trump yet.
I think there's a lot of reasons.
Because he's the lesser of two evils?
Yeah. I agree.
And do you guys agree with the policies of Joe Biden of open borders with all the migrants that came in here into America? What do you think about the current economy of America?
I think it's right in the pisser. Yeah, it's no good. I'm voting for Trump because of that.
Mm-hmm. So you will be voting for Donald Trump?
Of course, yeah.
And what makes you want to vote for Donald Trump versus Joe Biden? The majority of people here in Boston are all saying Joe Biden.
You know what? All the corrupt people right now hate him so bad. I think you have to vote for him. They hate him so bad, and they're the people, the enemy of my enemy. So.
And see, I'm gonna be fair. I don't like that answer. I'm sorry, I don't like that answer. And it's not the fact that he's voting for Donald Trump. It's the fact that I think if you're voting for someone, at least have a. I get voting for who you like more. I really do. But when it comes to running a country, at least have they have these policies, they have this one. Even if you talk about the economy, they did a better job running the economy. The statistics show this. Have some data to support it. But let's hear them talk.
Do you think it's a sign when someone starts to get persecuted as much as Donald Trump and as much as people like Abraham Lincoln or MLK that they're actually the right guy?
Yes, exactly right. Perfect. Very well said.
And we've been talking to a lot of people here in the streets of Boston, Harvard, and a lot of them are saying they're going to be voting for Joe Biden. But do you think there's going to be a lot more people that are going to be coming out of the closet that are secretly supporting Donald Trump here in Massachusetts?
I think that's very true. That's a true statement. I think that's very true overall.
What makes you want to vote for Donald Trump versus Joe Biden?
Like I said, I had this feeling the last administration was doing better. I think we've lost focus. He's in courts right now. We're really not focused on economy, immigration, basic jobs, just something for the people. We're in the middle of wars right now.
Okay.
All types of stuff going on. It just feels different.
Do you think other countries fear Joe Biden as president?
I don't think so at all. Unfortunately, no.
Think he's losing the respect of Americans and other countries while he's in office?
Yeah, I think there's a sense of weakness and stuff like that. And I don't think people want to bash him for his old age. I think people really realize they feel bad. And we have a sign of weakness all over the world and within the U.S.
Who are you guys going to be voting for in 2024?
I'm going to have to go with Trump. Trump.
And why so?
Because who else do we have?
Y'all not trusting Biden?
Yeah, I missed my stimulus check.
You missed your stimmy? What makes you guys want to vote for Donald Trump?
I feel like it wasn't better, honestly, but it was just more comfortable when it was Trump, kind of, in a way.
What about you, man?
I like his hair.
Yeah. And what are you guys studying?
They not serious. They not being serious, man. They playing. All right, let's see what she has to say because apparently she's the all-star of the video and her answer is just crazy. But let's go.
Government.
Government. What about you?
Sociology.
Sociology. All right. Well, you're studying government, and studying government. Who do you think would be the best person to be in the president's seat?
Oh, I'm not answering that question on the internet.
Why not? That's what you're studying, though, right?
It is what I'm studying, and I have opinions.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what's your opinion on America right now?
America is a mess at the moment. Everybody's very polarized for a good reason. I'll say I don't want a racist in our presidency at all. So.
And what would make that person you're referring to as a racist?
Racist comments, actions, policies that they support, things that they endorse, anything like that.
And what do you guys like about Joe Biden? We've been talking to a lot of students.
That was probably the worst thing she could say if she... You know what? Let's play it out. I feel like this is about to backfire.
Karen, what makes you guys lean more towards Joe Biden here at Harvard?
I think it's more of a lesser of two evils type situation. I think both candidates have done a lot of very bad things, but I think in terms of trying to choose between the two candidates that are most likely going to make it to the final vote, I think that it would be a better option to choose Joe Biden just because he is a lesser of two evils.
Okay, and do you guys feel safer underneath Joe Biden, especially with the wars that are going on? Who do you think would pose as a bigger threat to other countries as president?
By bigger threat, like what do you mean?
Like, people would have more fear.
As president?
Yeah, like show more respect.
As a black woman, I would say, like for citizens and as a black woman, I would be fearful under Donald Trump's presidency. Whereas Joe Biden, I don't think that he has it out for POC people at all. I know Donald Trump has great ties with like certain major countries, and Joe Biden also has great ties with certain major countries. It really just depends on the state of the world when they are presidents.
What could Joe Biden or Donald Trump do to unify America?
Oh, that's a great question. They will both have to lean more towards the center because both of them are a little bit extreme. A little bit is an understatement. They're both very extreme at the moment, and I think Joe Biden's doing a good job of trying to lean towards the center and appeal to both sides, whereas Donald Trump is just very, like, he could have his own ideology at this point, you know what I mean? So that's the break. They both need to just lean towards the center.
What do you guys think about the current economy, and do you think there's a way that we can get down this inflation?
I honestly think the economy is in shambles. The U.S. is in trillions of dollars in debt to other countries. I think that inflation is just like an after effect of all of us being in debt. I do think that inflation will continue to go up unless we make major changes or unless we plan how we're going to pay these people back. I think that inflation will continue to go up because the U.S. really does not have the money to sustain the way we are living right now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. If you like videos like this, comment down below. This was very interesting. This is interesting. But it's LFR Jojo.